you know what's even more amazing? Well, everyone's amazing in this world. I love everybody. But I have a guest today that has such an amazing story. You're going to be on the edge of your seat. Yes. So Nick Ogilvie is a friend of mine that I've actually known for quite a few years in the box, during the box and COVID and during masterminds and Zoom calls with the Grow Live Academy, which is part of the reason that we're both here, because we're growing live and going live to all the platforms. So share this out. If you're a Facebook user, please allow StreamYard to have your name so that we can know where your comments come from, because we love comments. And Nick and I have a lot of friends out there. And there's Eric. Woohoo! And now, without further ado, Nick Ogilvie, who does everything. Here is Nick. Now, I met you just in January at the Ken and Glenn show in person.
In person.
And talked and heard a story from him that we're going to save to the end, because we want to start off like at the beginning of his life, like gently, because he has like 250 something or other businesses and he handles them all streamlined. And he started with railroads. And we were just talking because I thought this book embodied him so much. The little engine that could. Wait till you see and hear about Nick's life, and you will see that he is the big engine that can and does. And he has his own book too. But so, Nick, you were born in New Mexico, yes?
Yeah, I was born in eastern New Mexico in Clovis, New Mexico.
And you lived there till like 10-ish or something?
So no, I lived there all my life until college, and then I went to West Texas A&M University, and after that went back to Clovis to work at the railroad.
Working on the railroad.
That's right.
And that is just amazing, because it sounds like being a conductor would be like the cool thing. When I first thought about conductor, I thought of the guy who just walked inside and got the tickets. But I know that is nothing of what you were doing. You were going up, taking care of the train, wherever it was, the train. And you've got some amazing stories about that too.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. Like, so a lot of people, like you said, they think taking the tickets and stuff like that. And hey, Patricia, Eric, how's it going? And so, you know, if we're going out in a snowstorm and in the middle of the night and the train breaks, that's what the conductor does. The conductor has to get on his suit, you know, his insulated overalls, whatever, a lantern, and go out there and start walking the train. It could be on the side of a mountain. It could be you don't know where it's going to break. And, you know, you go out there and you try to figure it out. And hopefully it's not a knuckle. The knuckles is what holds the cars together. They're shaped just like this, and they hold it together. And then you have the air hoses. And sometimes those knuckles will come apart, and you'll have to carry one and they're about 50 to 70 pounds. And you got to carry it. Could be up to a mile long, could be longer. Yeah, you got to walk back to the head end to the train, to the engine. And if you see on the front of the engine, there's two knuckles. You have to grab one, and you walk it all the way back, and you replace it. So
by yourself?
By yourself, yeah.
You don't have a crew to like?
No, I wish.
And this happens at any time of the day or night, right?
It could, yeah. And you know, it's funny, your mind plays tricks on you. So I was in the middle of out in the middle of nowhere in New Mexico, and it was, man, I can't remember the sighting anymore. Buchanan. It's called Buchanan, and it's in between Clovis and Belen, New Mexico. And it was out in the middle of the night, raining cats and dogs. The train breaks. And so, yeah, of course. So I put on my outfit and I go out there, start walking the train. And you know how you feel like if something's watching you, you're like, what's going on? And so I look back and there's these 3 cows standing in the middle of this dirt road looking at me. I mean, scared the living daylights out of me. And I'm a big guy, but it scared the living daylights out of me. And they weren't doing nothing. They were just curious, like, what's this crazy guy doing? But yeah, that's...
Were you wearing your pretty yellow shirt then too?
Oh yeah, that's what it was.
Maybe that's why you have 3 cows now, because you were, like, grateful to them.
Exactly. So
What
it's so
what
yeah,
other
so that's
critters
what
did
we
you meet
do.
out there?
Say what?
What other critters did you meet out on the train?
Uh there are mountain lions. I never seen a bear, but I heard of bears. There were mountain sheep. That's pretty cool. They actually, they'll go up the canyon walls. I don't know how they do it. It's the most amazing thing, but it's really cool. And then, dogs. I've had dogs chase me up to a rail car, and yeah, that was no fun. But I mean, just coyotes. Um, that's about it.
And how long were you on the railroad?
For 10 years.
10 years.
For 10 years.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, and I guess after about 2 or 3 years is when I got laid off, and I took the venture of artificial turf.
And how did you come up with that idea? Tell us about your
Yeah,
thought process, because that's a good story.
sure. So I've always been fascinated with it was back in the day when you had magazines. It's called Smart Money Magazine, and
I think my dad.
I subscribed to it. And in the back, it had a list of things that are up and coming in the industries, and it said solar and artificial turf. And I thought, I'll try the artificial turf route. And also in the back of that magazine there were franchise opportunities. So you could go and they have to get your financials and all that. Well,
Mhm.
I passed all of that, but no one would ever give me a shot. And it's because I lived in a town of only 30,000 people.
Hmm.
So they were thinking Nick's not going to make that big of a splash. He's not going to make that much money. So what I did is I found out where the turf was getting made, and they led me to a guy in San Jose, California, that would teach me because he didn't feel as though I was a threat because all the way in California. And so I paid him to teach me and worked for him for 2 weeks. To learn
Brilliant.
how to do it.
Brilliant. Are you guys
Yep.
still friends?
We haven't talked in years.
Hey, it might be a good idea to give them a shout out and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
it worked out for me, and and I can franchise the rest of the world to you."
Exactly. Exactly. No, it did. It worked, it worked out great. And the thing is did it start off really fast and busy and stuff? Of course not. Luckily, by then the railroad had called me back, and so I did the railroad from 3 to in the summers I worked at what's called a yard job, where I'd work inside like the rail yards, and we'd build the trains so the crews could take them out on the road. And so I worked from 3 to 11, and then my regular job that the rail or my turf job I worked from 7 to 2. So I had a quick hour off, and yeah.
Where's the sleep part happen?
Yeah, I still don't know. To this day, I still don't know where the sleep happens, but
That's amazing when you have the passion and the drive, and then you had the railroad job to help fund your new baby.
Yeah,
It's amazing how much energy you get, isn't it?
100%, 100%. If you find passion, passion's where it's at. So yeah, and and you want me to finish telling the story
Oh, yes, please. Yes.
so about a few years into it, I guess 6 years into it, I did that for a while, both jobs, and I had an opportunity to do a big facility in Key Biscayne, Florida, rooftops, and I bid it out the job, and I really didn't think I'd get it because it's such a large amount of money, and I added some in there just for extra padding, so I was like, I'm not going to get it. And I was on the train one day and got a phone call, and it said, you won the bid. And so, yeah, so what I did was I went in there to the train master and I said, hey, Dylan, I need to move up my vacation, and I'm going to work during my vacation. And then when I got to Miami and Key Biscayne and I started doing all these rooftops, there's 60,000 square foot rooftops for this high end development. I started looking at everything and looking at all the Ferraris, and I'm thinking,
All the
these
money.
people aren't afraid to pay if you do a good job. So I never went back.
Wow.
I never went back. And finally, after about a month, Dylan called me and said, you're not coming back, are you? I was like, nah. But what's cool is I had 10 years in, so I retired. I had vested time. So I retired from the railroad, and now I do this turf.
And this is amazing. Now, do we have any gentlemen out there who are working on lawns or have kids, or maybe want a little putt thing in their yard, or what's the game now that everyone plays that you just started doing?
Oh, the cornhole stuff?
Cornhole stuff, and it's not billiards. It's you've got courts for it. You're getting
like shuffleboard.
Shuffleboard is one, and then the other one,
Pickleball.
Pickleball. Thank you.
Yeah. So I do the pickleball, and I also have. It's great. These YOLO TVs.
Amazing. Look at this. I mean, he's already thinking, well, what happens when my artificial turf? He's got this, and this. And as long as I'm there doing the artificial turf, wouldn't you like to make your backyard even more usable, or your facility, or your golf course, or your playground area, or your common area, or your football stadium, or your baseball stadium? Look what else we can do for you.
100%. I want to own that home. I want to own at least that backyard, right? So, we have the fake palm trees that you can't even tell that they're.
I saw that in the.
Yeah, that you can't even tell that they're fake. And then we have these TVs. They're called YOLO TVs, and they're the brightest TVs out there. And they have a warranty, a 5-year warranty. They'll last over 100,000 hours. So that'd be like 11 years straight. The TV would have to be on, no glare, and it's outside. So I call it the wow factor. We can get up to almost 300 inches. So if you want the wow factor in your backyard, resort, or whatever, yeah, I'm your guy.
You hear that, guys? Because this is freaking amazing. And then there's another COVID or something, you don't have to leave home. You can have it all right there. And everyone will come to your house if you test them.
Yeah, and it's crazy with the courts and stuff. A lot of people are putting them in because they want their kids and their kids' friends to be at their house. They want to know where their kids are at all times, which totally understand that. And so this is such a good option for bringing the kids home. When I grew up, it was when that light turned on, your butts better be hauling booty to your house because your mom or dad is coming around that corner looking for you.
It was great. Isn't it a wonderful system?
And so now, unfortunately, today, today's times, we can't. It's not like that. So, it's great to have the kids at the house, the friends at the house, and have a good time.
Yep. My neighborhood, if they couldn't find their kid, they came to my house because that's where we were. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Loved it. And so you're in Florida, you get this big job, and then what?
So I end up just going round and round to try to find these jobs. So, knocking on doors, basically, I did the whole donut, which is 95, 75, and 4, and drove around, and I started, okay, dog places need turf. Hotels need turf. What areas need turf? Pet parks, stuff like that. And so I would get on the internet and write them all down on pad of paper, and then I would drive over there with my 3 samples of turf.
Yes.
And I'd say, need that.
Yes. Oh, I don't mean to interrupt. I'm so sorry.
No, go for it.
You got to show them your turf, and why your turf is, now that you started your own turf, how it's even better and cooler.
I don't have any on me.
Okay, well that's all right. When I have you back, in a few months, you can show them then.
Okay, perfect. That'd be awesome.
We're going to do this again in a few months as soon as he gets through, but we're going to tell you about it at the end.
Love it.
And look at Eric, street lights on. You better get there before you call you. If not, your butt would be on fire.
That's right, Eric. That's right.
Now, I actually lived in an island where there weren't any street lights, so I was supposed to be back before the sun went down, and I was always getting my butt beat. I'd be like 3 mountains away going, oh, and I didn't know the bad words then. I'd be like, oh my God, Hail Mary, full of grace, Lord is with thee, oh please. How did this happen to me again? I don't have any excuse. I just have to walk in and own up.
Yeah, exactly.
So you got all these. Now, he's not just talking backyards. Oh, look at Grace has a question. How much of self-confidence has to do with success, Nick? That's one
Oh
for you,
man, Grace, it has everything to do with success. You've got to be a product of the product, and basically the self-confidence part is knowing what kind of product you're putting out there, you're going to do it good, and treat all your customers right. And that's one key to my success, right? Is you have the customer service part of it, which is great, but you want the customer experience. You want to make sure to go above and beyond, so that way they tell others, referrals. And that's how I've got to install for major theme parks, right? And stuff like that, and different big resorts, is because those people see how I respond. The NFL, things like that. That's how I get these big jobs.
And feel free to drop some of those names, because I was quite impressed with your list.
Yeah, the theme parks, I have NDA on those. So sometimes it comes out, but, it has to deal with, maybe creatures with big ears, or something like that. That might be a good hint. But, Hard Rock Hotels, Mercedes-Benz USA, Harley-Davidson USA, just all sorts of different companies. Hey, Lynn.
Hey, Lynn. Nice to see you. I know one that hit me when you're Harley Davidson, and they did a T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Do you have their number? I'm going to call them. Maybe I can order one. I want one of those.
Yeah, so it's Crystal River Harley Davidson, and the owner's name is Jewel. She's such a nice lady. Jewel, like a jewel of jewelry, yeah.
Okay.
And so I was at the St. Petersburg Grand Prix in Florida, and that's the first race of the year is there in St. Pete, and there was a guy walking around with the shirt, the Harley Davidson shirt with my job underneath it. And I told him, I said, I know this is sound really weird, but I need you to stand still so I can take a picture and point to my job on that shirt. And that's, yeah.
And this is a good segue into the master he is at networking, social media, and AI.
Yeah.
So he has these pieces and he has all of this great stuff. So there he is already thinking of his social media, taking a picture with the T-shirt with his job behind.
Yep. 100%. So I'm always thinking of one, pivoting, right? Kind of what we talked about before. And then the second is the whole marketing piece. Where do I see something and how to market, how to use, and recently, like before Chat GPT and stuff, I used a program called Jasper AI, which I still use to this day. And you can go to therealnicko.com, for any of these tools. It's like my Nick's toolbox. But so I use these tools in order to help me to build and scale.
You're so good, Eric R.
And so I'm a marketing guru. I love marketing. Every chance I get, I like to be out there, right, on social media or something. And a lot of times it looks like I'm out there more than I really am, because I use all these different features on planners, social media planners, and I plan out my whole month at a time. So each business that I do, I can have the whole month planned out in about 15 to 20 minutes. All my posts.
Can you imagine, guys? You got to learn how to get this magic.
Yep.
It's amazing. Tell us more.
Yeah, so you can get all this stuff on ultimatebranding2024.com. And I've taken a lot of guesswork out, as far as I've put together a social media platform posting where I have reels on there. I have different, because you got to engage your content. Content engagement's key. But one thing I will tell you, if you do not stay consistent, do not buy any of this, because it's consistency wins the game. And I've had people tell me, Nick, I had to unfollow you because you're just, every time I get a feed, you're on there. That's fine. I try to tell everybody, you're your own brand. I don't care what you do. You're your own brand. And I ran into a guy at a car dealership one time when I was looking for a vehicle, and he was asking about a lot of different things. And one of the tools that I use a lot is called captions. And captions is really cool because now you can only use it if you're an iPhone user. So Ken Walls would love that because it's just, iPhone user.
Whoops.
But what it is it writes your script for you. So I was trying to tell him it was a Ford dealership. And so I said, what's your favorite Ford? He goes, it's the Mustang. I said, great. Type in, hi, this is so-and-so at whatever dealership. Today we're talking about the 2023 Ford Mustang. And so he did it, and he stayed consistent with it. And he started selling cars because people thought that he was the expert on Fords when he knew nothing about Fords. Yeah. So
Amazing.
it's being consistent. Giving him ideas to think outside the box, like going to the service department the next day and saying, what do we have on the rack today? And say, oh, well, we have this old whatever. And get on there and say, today's a good day to service your vehicle because why do they want to bring it in? Because if someone is working at a dealership and they bring in the vehicle, maybe it's an older vehicle. Maybe they need a new one. So that way they recommend to that guy. And so it's just different. And it works for every industry. That's the cool thing is the captions and how to sell. It works for every industry. And you want to mix up some of your personal life in it, just like with my cows, right? Milk and cookie. I mix them in there with my feeds daily just to show everybody that, hey, it's not all about turf or business. So,
and he's a rancher.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's a big, strong guy and can do anything.
Right.
Yeah, he's going to stay that way.
Yep, I am 100%.
Woohoo. So I know that you've done all these businesses, and turf takes a lot of labor. Where do you get your people that you can trust to maintain your good reputation and do the work and do it right?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So when I first started this business, it was a lot of hands-on. I was there as well doing the work with the guys.
Mm-hmm.
And I showed them and I taught them along the way because I want the best. And teaching them every step of the way is so beneficial. And so now I have crews all over the country. If I have a job in South Carolina, if I have a job in Wisconsin, if I have wherever, I can call someone up there because I guarantee I've taught them how to do turf. And a lot of people think that that's absolutely crazy, teaching the competition. But I don't look at it as competition. I look at it as helping others succeed. And honestly, I firmly believe in helping others. That's one thing I love doing. So yeah, that's how, so I keep my margins, small by hiring out, but they know what's expected of them. And say if I don't know the crew at all, because all my crew members are 1099 employees. Mm-hmm. So let's just say if I don't know how good they are and they tell me they've seen them in pictures, I'll let them have an install. I'll let's see what they have, what they do. But if they do something incorrectly, I'm going to teach them and show them. And then this is why we do it this way. And they're good. So it's really easy. It's and basically it goes back to treating people right. Treating people right. Because without them, I'm nothing. And so I'm very appreciative of the hard work that everybody does. So just treat people right and, love everyone. That's what that's really it.
I agree. Yeah. So you have gone all over the United States on the East Coast, all the way up to Vermont. You have a story in Vermont.
Burlington, Vermont. Yeah.
Relationship capital, guys. And you know why he's a saint? Well, many, many reasons, but he cares about his customers so much that he goes and visits every job.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. I was in, I've done stuff at Tyson's Corner in DC. Alexandria, Virginia. I've done stuff all over the place, right? I've done was in New Jersey, New York City for 7 years working on a big project. And it's I mean, I've done everything from LA to Burlington, Vermont, all the way down to Sunset Key for Tim Welch that has Westin Hotels. I did a little property there for him. So yeah.
You're so funny. Yes, and you did this by starting a foundation, knocking on doors, cold calling,
Yeah.
and building your relationships and seeing what's around you, using your eyes, being observant, and capitalizing on it.
100%. And in networking, even if they're not in your industry, that's the key thing is network. And you may say, well, I go to, I clean windows or something like that. Well, you're in everybody's backyard. Let's work together.
Mm-hmm.
If you see that they have pets and they need a new backyard,
mm-hmm.
tell me. Or if I see someone that needs clean windows, windows cleaned, I'll tell you.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about building relationships because people are going to buy from who they like, know, and trust.
Exactly.
And so, and the thing I see a lot of people today in today's society, laziness. They don't follow up on leads. And that's, to me, is crazy. They just, oh, well, it didn't work for me. They didn't want it. Well, how many times did you follow up? Twice. They ghosted me. Well, I'm going to keep calling until I get something back that says, please leave me alone.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
That's right, Eric. That's right.
I've gotten some of my best customers just by being persistent in a nice way. And remember other little things that, and eventually you're part of the family.
Yeah, exactly. And, it's funny. It's funny now. It's like Chat GPT, for instance. You say, write me an email to engage with a customer that's not responding or something like that. And then it will write you out something. And you can say, write it funny, write it informal, whatever. And you can say, write it as Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack and see what it comes up with. Just have fun with it. But you got to get the people's attention. So, and I guess another thing that, I wrote a book, right? You're an author yourself. And that's a business card right there. I try to teach people, I try to tell people, write a book. Because your competition more than likely has not written a book on this stuff. And on the inside cover of my book, I have a QR code that links to my website. And so, hey, here you go. And I always tell people, I'm not the cheapest, but I'm the best. So I understand if you need to go with the cheaper route, but here's a book to show you how to do it the right way in case they miss some steps. And it works.
Yeah, because there's a lot to this artificial turf.
Oh, a ton. It's not set it and forget it. Yeah, you've really got to, it's literally from the base up. You can have the most beautiful turf and have crappy base work and it's going to look like crap. So you got to do it nice the whole way.
And there's a lot to it. It's like building the foundation of your house, of your life. You can't, if you have a weak foundation, the whole thing's going to buckle, pool.
Yeah.
Get bubbles.
100%.
It's amazing. You did an amazing thing for a baseball facility when they didn't listen to you in the first place, I think.
Which one was that? Oh, in Vermont? Yeah.
My son was in baseball. My son played baseball in Vermont. That's why that one came to mind.
Okay. Yeah. So there was a facility that I built over there, and the GC told me a certain way how to install it. When I told the owner of the company and the GC that's not the way to install it, but I installed it that way. And it's real tricky when you install on indoors with turf because what happens is like whenever I was installing it there in Vermont, it's cold and the turf is constricted, right? It's not expanded, it's contracted, and so that's great. But when they flip those heaters on, what's that turf going to do? It's going to expand. It's going to wrinkle. Well, they didn't realize I was trying to tell them we just need to glue 2 sides so it has a place to breathe, so it doesn't wrinkle. And they had to learn that the hard way. But being the kind guy that I am,
of course,
I flew out there and fixed it for them. So, and charged them absolutely zero.
And that's customer service, folks.
Customer service, and they apologized. And hey, it is what it is. So, but it's just going back to taking care of people and doing the right thing, because I understand, it's a lot of money to do this stuff, and I respect that, and so I'm going to make sure to take care of people.
And it works in every industry.
Yep, 100%.
And the lessons that Nick has will work in your industry, and the wisdom that he has and how he's done it will work in your industry.
Yeah,
and in your life. In your life. These are life principles.
Right.
Right.
Just treat people good, and I guess one thing on top of that is every customer is not for you either.
True.
So I had a customer last year, and it was a big job. They put down a pretty good sized deposit on the project, and we were doing their backyard, and one of the installers called me and said, "Hey, it's not going over here really well." I was like, "Well, what's going on?" "Well, they're saying that, it's so easy to do this stuff. I see it on YouTube and Google. You're doing it incorrectly. You're just a bunch of Mexicans." And I said, "I tell you what, stop what you're doing. I'll be right there." So I get over there, and they stop, and they said, "Yeah, he's out here," and he was out there yelling at him. And so I don't know if the guy had nothing else better to do, but he was shocked about the next steps that I took. So I said, "Guys, pack your stuff up. We're going to be getting off this job." And the guy said, "What do you mean?" "I paid a deposit." I said, "I understand that, sir. I'm going to give it to you back." And so that's what I did. I was right there, got online, sent him the money back, and said, "My employees nobody gets talked to that way. Nobody. Everybody's human." And so they, your crews respect you for that. They're like, "Wow, that's, I don't, you just don't talk to people that way."
And you're a true leader and standing up for your values.
Yep.
And having definite boundaries that you don't let people cross. And I admire you for that. I know your crew admires you for that. And I bet deep down that customer admires you for that.
Oh, yeah. So, one of the guys, Victor, said, "Well, do you think he's going to tell a whole bunch of people?" I said, "No, because it's going to make him look like an idiot." He's like, "Oh, yeah, I guess so." I'm like, "Yeah, trust me. I don't care if they shame me or not."
I think it's fabulous. We have a Facebook user. Oh, it's Dan. Hi, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
He's a better person for knowing you. And aren't we all?
Oh, he's such a nice guy. I like Dan.
Yes. And he's smart too. He's very good. He's in the insurance business.
Yeah.
I want to go into your health now, if that's okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So you had a big scare. Do you want to just tell the whole story and what's happening? And Thank you.
So, yeah, no problem. So October 1st, 2022, I was out feeding the cows, and just like I do every day. And what happened, I guess it sounded like there's like a boom or something went on. I couldn't see, I couldn't hear something. It was just really weird feeling. And so I got back on the tractor and went up to the house, closed the gate, obviously. And we had an oximeter at the house. And my wife put it on my finger, and it was reading my heart rate. It was reading 126. And so she's like, "Here's some water," and gave me some water. Everything. We watched a movie. Everything kind of calmed down. Everything was good. And then that night, I sleep with a CPAP, and all the air, I guess, hit my airways at that time. And I blacked out, passed out. I don't know what happened. Came to, I was able to yell her name once. And she came to, and I said, dial 911. And she dialed 911. And we went to the hospital after I'd fell out, I guess, 3 other times. I don't even remember hardly anything. And I do remember, though, in the hospital or in the emergency room, and the doctor said, "Well, you have a double pulmonary embolism," after they did the test and everything. And probably have about 45 minutes to live, whether we decide to figure out what we want to do, if the surgeon's even going to take it, because it's so massive. And so I was like, okay. You know, like nothing really ran through my head. Like I wasn't upset. I was sad because of leaving my wife and kids. You know, that's where I was sad at. But I was okay with dying because I know where I'm gonna go. And yeah, I mean, exactly. Exactly. So I mean, you know, heaven's not a bad place. I mean, so the thing is I just felt bad for Anessa and my daughters, and I was like, huh. Okay, so they said they would take a chance and do the surgery. And so I went in there and it was supposed to be like an hour surgery. And you know, I'm a big guy. They put me on this little tiny table. And I asked the doctor, I said, well, where am I getting anesthesia? They said, no, you're too far gone. I'm like, you're kidding me.
Oh,
And
oh,
so yeah,
oh,
so they cut me open
ah.
and without any anesthesia and started running tubes up me and started going to work. And there was one nurse, and all her job was take a wet rag and just wipe my face from sweat because it was just so painful.
Did you cry?
And the hour surgery ended up taking a little over 3 hours. Yeah,
Of
and so they got the big mass off, and I immediately could feel like a Volkswagen lifted off my chest. I felt good, and so I thought everything was okay until about 6 months ago, and obviously it's not. I got told, you know, in December that I had a year left to live, and so that was really hard for me because I'm such a positive person. You know, everybody's like, I'm getting ready for 2024, and I was that way too. Like I'm like, I got this planned out. I'm gonna kill it. I don't care about the economy. I'll overcome that. Whatever. I'll pivot. I got this. And then I get that news given to me, right? Well, I get it given to me, and my wife's at our house in Kentucky with the girls already for Christmas. They had called me in earlier than expected, said, hey, we got something to tell you. And I knew when the doctor was sitting there with tears in her eyes and her foot, you know, bouncing up and down, I knew something was up. I'm pretty good at reading people. And so when they told me that, I was like, okay. They said you had CTEF. Do you know what that is? I was like, I have no clue. I've never heard of that in my life. So, well, your blood's making blood clots. Your body's making blood clots. And I was like, okay, well, that explains why I can't breathe. So, you know, I have about 60% lung capacity. And it gets worse every day. Every day, I mean, it just gets a lot, just more and more. It's harder and harder to breathe. And so I thought, okay. And then now I have a 87% failure of my liver. And it's because the oxygen's just not getting to the liver like it should. And so they told me I had an opportunity to do this surgery. And it's a surgery like I've never heard of before. And when I tell you about this surgery, I mean, maybe someone has heard of it. I guess it's been done more. I'm not the guinea pig.
Thank God.
Yeah, praise the Lord. I'm not the guinea pig. But if I was a guinea pig, I'd go ahead and do it anyways, because that's just kind of guy I am. If it's going to help someone else down the road, then let's get her done.
Amen.
But so they take and they decrease my body temperature 20 to 30 degrees. They put me on ice. And then they put a lung bypass and a heart bypass on me. And they have an 11-hour surgery where they go in and they go into my arteries and try to take out all the blood clots.
How?
I don't know. He described it to me. I talked to the surgeon, and I talked to him again here soon. But they go in there, and there's like 4 layers of your arteries, and they take that first layer, and they just like try to yank it out because it will regrow back. And so they pull out the blood clots, and then they'll warm me back up, and you know, like Humpty Dumpty, they'll put me back all together again, and then I'll be out for 3 days. And they say that.
Out? What do you mean by out for 3 days?
Like unconscious. I'll be sleeping for 3 days.
And they are giving you drugs this time, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm a pretty tough guy, but I don't know if I can handle that. But so I'm doing that, and then after the 3 days, I'll be ready to rock and roll. Well, not really, but you know, I'll be feeling better because I'll have all the blood clots out. I'll be in ICU for at least a week, and then hospital room for a week, and then I'm out of there and come home to recover. They said it's about six months recovery time.
6 months you can't leave the house. 6 months.
No. I guess 2 months I can't drive or anything, which is not gonna be fun.
But
so
you have your lovely wife to.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be a great chauffeur. Yeah.
We love you already, and I haven't even met you, but you sound fabulous.
She is. She's the best.
So,
I mean, anything to put up with me.
Can we book you, my darling? What's her name? Starts with the A.
Anessa. Yep.
Yes, I can't wait to meet you, and maybe we could meet you at the Ken and Glenn show.
Yeah.
April 5, 6, 7, 8, 6, 7, 8.
6, 7, 8. Yeah.
A month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Might make a guest appearance. Who knows?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
But if not, maybe I'll come to you.
Okay.
You're in Dallas?
Yeah, I live in the same town as Ken, Salina.
Okay.
So it's about 25 minutes north of where the event's being held at.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
If you're allowed visitors, because
everybody's welcome. Yeah, they can go see the cows, the ranch, take the gator out, and go cruise around the place. I don't care.
This is going to be amazing. And then you can write another book.
Yeah.
And then you'll probably lay there and have 18 new ideas for businesses of how to do it better.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
and
sure.
How to educate people. And how about, what are you doing to prepare?
Just positivity, being positive. Can't think about the negativity. The only thing that I will say that I didn't do, and it's shame on me, is I guess I'm a typical entrepreneur. I don't know. I think I know it all up in here, so I don't ever tell anybody else. And so, like, I help people, but I don't share what I do and what's my day to day. So really telling my wife what I do day to day and trying to get her caught up, that's a disservice I did to her. And I kind of I regret that. You know, that's a learning experience for me. As far as that, I take that and I learn from that. And maybe that's going to be in my next book on expect the unexpected. I don't know, but it's crazy. It's crazy sometimes what cards you're dealt. The first thing I was always thinking, I was like, how can you give me a death sentence when I have committed no crime? Right? That's the thing. And I was hard on myself for about a day, 2 days. But now I'm living life, and it is what it is. No matter what I live. And that's kind of how I explain to everybody. No matter what I live. And it is what it is. So I'm going to get through this stronger than ever before. And hopefully I'll be on a TEDx stage talking about it. And yeah.
I have a Glenn Morshower quote here that applies to you. I am a person through whom and for whom exceptional things happen.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah. Because it's true about you. Look at you. You've been only exceptional all of this time.
Yeah.
And you still have time before your surgery to you could just record it. You could just do your own.
Yeah, so I'll tell you something interesting that I've been doing.
Yes, please.
So I'm real big on YouTube and stuff like that. So I started and shame on me, in 20 years I haven't.
Stop saying that. This is terrific. You're learning new stuff.
Yeah, I am.
It's going to be amazing.
Right. And so I'm documenting this job that's going on right now.
Excellent.
On the correct ways. That's right, Eric. Come on with it. Come on with it.
Come on with it. Thank you, Eric.
And so it's teaching me to do a documentary of this install we're doing right now. And it's a great install because it's a little over 10,000 square feet. And so I'm going through the process on how to install turf the correct way via YouTube, because if something was to happen, people know how to install turf correctly. I'm leaving something for my crews to watch, to learn, other people to watch and learn. I'm helping people, even though maybe I'm not here. And so I'm thinking of helping people when I'm not even, because I believe that's how much I believe in helping people. So yeah, I'm learning all this stuff, and sometimes I think to myself, and I think my wife will agree. Sometimes I learn the hard ways, and that's okay. I mean, when you learn the hard ways, you only have to learn it once.
You appreciate it more.
100%, 100%.
I have a quote right here from you. Be grateful for what you have, then you'll end up having more. If you
Yep.
concentrate on what you don't have, you will never have enough.
Yep.
Nick Ogilvie.
Yep. And
Isn't
that's
that a
so
good
true.
one? Yeah.
That's so true. You've got to be grateful and thankful. Where did you get the philosophy to help others? Grace, that's a great question, Grace. I'll tell you. So I've been very fortunate to have great grandparents on both sides of my family. And I've been fortunate to have a great family. And I learned it from them. My granddad Lee, he had a diesel mechanic shop, and he helped farmers. He helped truck drivers if they were stranded, if it was Saturday afternoon, and they called him up and said, Lee, we really need you. We're in a bind. We got to get this load of grain or whatever and our truck broke down. He would stop what he's doing and go help them. And I mean, that's what it takes. They're both, I've grown up in a Christian home, and I'm very thankful for that and grateful for that. And then, yeah, that's right, Dan. And then my papa on the other side, he had a dry cleaners business. So two totally different types of businesses. But what if a wedding dress had a stain on it before the wedding or something like that, right? Or a prom dress. Oh my gosh, he would do what he did to get the stains out, to get everything ready for their big day.
Oh.
And he would drop what he's doing. He cared so much about his customers. So both sets of grandparents cared so much about their customers. And, and that's how I think that's customer experience, right? That's not even customer service anymore. Customer service is just being nice to them. But going above and beyond, that's the experience. And that's where it's a loss of that people really don't do as much anymore. And I have a great, so one of my mentors is John Traver. And man, let me tell you, this man is absolutely amazing. He owns several different companies. He's a good Christian man. He has everything he could possibly want or need, but he always helps others. Mm-hmm. And it's just it's a blessing to call him a friend. It's a blessing to call Ken Walls a friend too, right? I mean, right. Me and Ken are very close. I mean, he lives 7 minutes from me.
Excellent.
And it's just, I was on oxygen off my first double pulmonary embolism, and I had a deal of oxygen on, and I'm helping him carry his brand new couch into his house.
What?
Until I moved here so light. Like, I mean, it's just,
you might have to take a little more TLC for you. Remember the oxygen in the airplane? Put your mask on first.
Oh, I know. And, and that's a crazy thing too, right? So oh man, I used to fly 3 times a week, at least 3 times a week, because I was all over the country teaching people how to install turf, speaking to other companies and stuff like that. And then when this happened 2 years ago, stopped flying. And that's been really hard on me because I enjoy traveling. And that's one of the reasons why, I had my house at the beach. But this place here in Texas is great because I can fly basically anywhere in the United States in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it's beautiful. It's the best place.
Mhm.
And so, and I love flying, and then now it's just so I'm anxious to get all this done so I can fly again. And yeah,
Of course.
come out there and see you in DC. Come see Dan in DC too, right?
Right. Yeah.
So last time I went to, I spoke at a conference, and I missed Eric, but we're gonna catch up in Houston next time. So
Good. Good.
yeah,
Eric should come to the Ken and Glenn show.
he needs to. He
Yeah.
needs to.
We'll talk to you about that offline, Eric. I got ideas. Both of the Erics should come. Well, yes. It's
Yeah.
amazing. It is so amazing. It's so amazing. So I had this little idea
Okay.
that using some of your social media strategies, maybe you can teach me or something that we could put up and do an email blast and a social media blast on March 5. Do you know what time your surgery is?
5 a.m.
5 a.m. So all over the world, that's a different time. So I was thinking you could give us some tools and some pictures or some information, and we could shoot out a blast so everyone could say one prayer at 5 a.m.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Isn't that cool? Thank
Yeah.
you. God
That's
beamed it
very-
down to me, or the divine, and I went,
Love it.
that's brilliant. In fact, I was even wondering if we could do it while we're here, but I think we're almost out of time. I was like, that would be amazing. And then I went, we need at least 1 million, because 1 million prayers. You only have to pray once, one good heartfelt one for Nick. That's all we're asking.
Amen. Yep.
It doesn't even have to be a 5 a.m. If you aim for 5 a.m., that would be perfect. But it can be 4, after, during. We accept prayers at all times. Dan Altmeier's in. Woohoo!
Love it.
Oh, excellent, excellent, excellent. So we will.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I'll come up with something. I'll give it. Yeah, that'd be great.
Perfect, 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 perfect. And then meanwhile, you do have stuff online that people can start doing by themselves if they are. The next step of passion is action and commitment. And as you already said, consistency. Tell them where they can jump onto that one. It's on your website.
So Ultimate Branding 2024. And you can also go to, therealnicko.com and go to my toolbox. Everything's in there. But, I want to tell people a lot of times people will buy these apps. They'll buy this stuff, books, whatever. Do not buy it from me. Do not buy it from me if you're not going to use it, because you have to use it. You have to be committed. And when you're committed, all in, you're going to do it.
There it is. Eric R. put it up. www.therealnicko.com.
Yep.
Nice. I was cruising it. So I'll need a lot of extra training on that. So we'll do that when you're feeling ready.
Perfect. That'd be great.
Put it on the list.
Okay.
Our million prayers in.
I
So that's
love
March 5, ladies and gentlemen. You know what? Feel free to start now and keep her going. And if you want to send a little thing to Nick and let him know that you sent it, that's lovely. If you want to keep it in your hearts, that's fine. Just so that God gets them. That's all that matters.
That's right. 100%. 100%.
Yes. And you have a support system, and you have your family, and you have these. Are your grandparents still living?
So I have my granny on my mom's side. She's still living. She'll be here.
Nice.
She'll be here. So yeah, it'll be good.
So important to have your people, and so important, ladies and gentlemen. You're growing up, and you might be a grandmother or grandpa someday, and look at the good foundation that Nick got to help him become the amazing man that he is right now.
Yeah,
you have to do that for your help your family, your others, and even kids in the neighborhood, kids on the street, kids that you don't even know. Everyone needs a helping hand, a smile, just to listen.
100%. Just be kind and love one another. That's it. Simple.
Do you need anything?
No, I mean, prayers are great. I got everything else covered.
Excellent.
So, yeah.
Excellent. Oh, Patricia, here she's already sending
That's
them.
awesome.
Love and prayers. Thank you, Patricia. Sending in our prayers, and pass it along and move it forward, because you are amazing. I am amazing. We are amazing. Oh, look, there's Jose. And Jose was in the railroad business too, as a matter of fact, right?
Yep. Yep.
Now, you didn't meet during there. You
No,
just,
but we worked for BNSF, the same company, which is
how
crazy.
crazy is that?
Yeah.
It's such a small world. And both of you are entrepreneurs. Both of you retired from the railroad company. And both of
Yes.
you are amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, you've met in person, right? Or not?
Oh, yeah. We met at the event in Orlando last March, I believe.
With Craig and
Ken.
Craig, you were there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I was there. Oh no, I was at the one before that, right?
You're the one before that. Yeah.
Yeah. I met Jose actually in LA at another mastermind.
Okay.
He was associated with Napoleon Hill.
Nice.
Another great place for wisdom and going and nuggets. We have so many great people to draw information from, so many great people to get. Not only do we have our crew, our people around us, we have all these books and everything's out there, and we've got the Bible and just.
Yeah, you're only one person away from a great connection. Always remember that. I mean, it's no different than my office there. I mean, you've been to the offices there at Grandscapes where we had the conference. Nike has their headquarters there. The reason I have my office there is because you don't know who's going to walk through that elevator. You don't. And so if you're there, you're a face. Got to be in proximity.
Ooh, that's good. That's good. And there's so many cute shops and coffee shops and pizza and ice cream.
Yeah.
And
you have everything there.
Yeah, it's adorable. Everything but the ocean.
Hey, we did finish Fireside Surf, which is a surf place that has a 30-foot wave. We put turf around it with the palm trees, the tiki torches, the whole 9 yards. And it's American veterans that own it, Green Berets. So when you're in town, it's just right there. It's called Fireside Surf, and it is absolutely amazing. And when I say wave, I mean it's a huge. You're taking real surfboards out there. It's amazing. They go through 1 million gallons of water every minute, recycled.
Oh, recycled. Good word.
Yeah.
1 million gallons ago, everyone went, whoa!
Right.
You know what? They're using the water that you're saving from having the artificial turf in some of your backyard so that you don't have to water and that you always have a nice green lawn, right?
Exactly. 100%.
And his turf isn't like the turf, like that plastic stuff the football players used to get road rash from because it was so hard.
No. It's got better technology now. So it's a lot better.
And that's another interesting story that we'll have to tell you about next time.
Yes.
Any closing words, a quote, a love poem?
No, other than just be kind to one another, love one another, and always do the right thing when nobody's looking.
Or all the time.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So that's all I have.
Keep those prayers and cards coming. Maybe we need your address. Oh, I have your address. It's on the website, guys. You can send a card.
Yeah, 100%.
He'll need some reading time because I don't think he'll be running around for a while.
No. Send me books. I'll do a lot of reading.
and you'll have time to finish your Nick's playbook.
Exactly.
In fact, all of us should think about our playbooks.
100%.
Nick, you are amazing. We love you. We wish you only the best. We will be sending you healthy thoughts and messages through our brains all the way over. And you got this.
Thank you so much.
Whatever happens, you're in good hands.
Yes, I am. 100%.
I love your attitude. God bless you.
Thank you.